Your brain is still looking for a hit, not because you're weak, not because you failed, but because it learned something and it doesn't know how to forget it. You quit the habit. You removed the object. You told yourself you were done, but something stayed behind, a quiet pull, a subtle tension, a feeling you can't name but recognize instantly. And that's why you're here, not for motivation, not for advice, just for relief. You don't miss the smoke. You don't miss the flavor. You don't even miss the act. What you miss is the pause, that tiny moment where everything stopped, where your thoughts softened, where your shoulders dropped, where the noise in your head went quiet just for a second, and your brain remembers that. It doesn't remember logic, it remembers relief. So now, even without the habit, your nervous system keeps asking the same question, where's my break? And when it doesn't get an answer, it looks elsewhere, scrolling, snacking, overthinking, staying busy for no reason, starting things you don't finish. Not because you want more, but because your brain is still searching for that same feeling. This isn't about discipline, and it never was. Willpower helps you stop, but it doesn't help you replace. Your brain was trained on a pattern, stress, ritual, relief. You remove the ritual, but the stress is still there. So now the equation is broken, and a broken pattern makes the brain restless. That's why you feel unsettled, why you feel bored but tense, why rest doesn't feel like rest anymore. You didn't lose something bad. You lost something predictable. There's a specific kind of silence that makes people uncomfortable, not the peaceful kind, the empty kind, the kind where there's nothing to do and nowhere to escape. That's when the brain gets loud. That's when memories show up uninvited. That's when anxiety stretches its legs. That's when your thoughts start pacing like they're trapped in a room. The habit used to interrupt that. Now you're face to face with it. And no one prepared you for that part. And if this is speaking to you, if you feel like someone finally put words to what's been happening inside your head, this is exactly the kind of space we create here on Dronistas. So you might want to stay connected. Not because you need another channel, but because sometimes your mind needs a place it can return to. You didn't quit for nothing. You didn't quit because you were strong. You quit because something inside you wanted more peace, even if you didn't know how to get it. Even if you thought the habit was helping you survive. It was helping temporarily, but it was borrowing calm from the future, and now the bill feels overdue. That doesn't mean you made a mistake. It means you're in the middle of a transition that most people never complete. Your brain isn't sabotaging you, it's confused. It learned that relief came from a very specific signal, and now that signal is gone. So it keeps checking, keeps waiting, keeps reaching, like someone patting their pockets for something that's no longer there. That's not addiction. That's memory, and memory fades. But only when it feels safe enough to let go. You probably tried distracting yourself, music, videos, noise, work, people, and it helps for a moment. But the moment things slow down, the craving returns, because distraction doesn't give relief. It gives delay. Your brain doesn't want entertainment. It wants regulation. It wants to feel grounded, contained, held, and until it gets that, it will keep searching. The hit was never the point. The goal was the after, the exhale, the pause, the moment where nothing was required of you. That's what your brain is craving now. Not stimulation, permission to slow down, permission to stop performing, permission to exist without effort. What if relief didn't have to be intense? What if it didn't come from a spike, but from a release? No rush, no crash, no guilt, just a gradual softening. That's hard to notice at first, but it lasts longer. And once your brain learns that relief can be gentle, it stops demanding urgency. You don't need to do anything right now. Just sit, let your shoulders drop a little, unclench your jaw, slow your breathing by half a second. Nothing dramatic. Your brain notices these signals more than you think. They tell it we're safe enough to pause. And when the brain feels that, it stops chasing. This is a replacement, not another habit, not another vice. A state where you allow yourself to stop trying to fix how you feel. And ironically, that's when things begin to settle. You're not broken for missing a hit. You're human. And your brain is learning a new way to rest. The urge won't disappear overnight. It'll become quieter, less specific, more like a memory than a demand. One day you'll notice it didn't show up at all, and you won't celebrate. You won't even think about it. You'll just feel normal, and that's how you'll know it worked. You don't need to rush back into the noise. Stay here. Let this be your pause. No pressure, no expectation, no craving to satisfy. Just a moment where your brain doesn't have to look for anything. And if this moment helped even a little, subscribing to Dronistas simply means giving your mind a place to come back to when it needs quiet again, because your brain is still looking for a hit, but it's starting to learn that it doesn't need one anymore. And if you're here, listening, breathing, still, present, that means the process has already started. So stay a little longer. There's nothing you need to chase right now.